Hey, Facebook family. Hi, YouTube family. How are you guys doing? It is your girl, Shawnee Speaks, with tonight's Wednesday Words of Wisdom. And I'm just going to give you a little warning right now. I am going to be talking about Tyler Perry's new movie. So if you have not seen the movie and you intend on watching the movie, it's called A Fall from Grace. Please don't watch this live video because it's going to be a spoiler alert. So I'm just going to thank you guys in advance for going ahead and joining this live video. I know that I've been coming to you all a little later than usual, but that's because I am taking classes on Wednesdays now. And so I apologize, but I'm going to try to jump on as soon as I can. So forgive me, but again, thank you so much for joining. And please go ahead and share this live video. So the title of tonight's live is How Do You Know That It's Good If You Don't Try? Okay, so this video is going to have a little bit of different like context to it in regards to where you are at in life and where other people may be, and what it is that you're seeing from others that you might not be producing enough in yourselves. And so I want to start this live video kind of talking about the Tyler Perry movie, A Fall from Grace, and just how dope Tyler Perry is, man. Like, I do not care about all the negative Nancy's and everything that they had to say about Tyler Perry. Listen, Tyler Perry is a genius, all right? You can agree with me, you cannot agree with me, but Tyler Perry, hashtag Tyler Perry, is a genius, and he has pushed the envelope beyond Medea. He has pushed the envelope beyond stage plays and the wigs and the loudness and the obnoxiousness and everything, right? So I watched A Fall from Grace. My daughter was telling me about the movie and she was like, Mom, you need to watch this movie. She said it's going to take a while to get into. And I'm like, okay, it did. It took a while. It did. I'm not going to say that it didn't take a while, but it did take a while to kind of get to the point of the movie, right? But when it did, it was like, oh shoot, oh my goodness. And the end, you just didn't know that the end was going to be the end, right? So let's fast forward past the end. So after I watched the movie, I found out that Tyler Perry wrote, I guess, and produced this movie and did everything that he needed to do. So this movie hit the screen in 5 days. Let's just put it that way, because I don't want to use the wrong terms in the film industry and be offending anybody or whatever. So Tyler Perry did this movie in 5 days, y'all. So if Tyler Perry made A Fall from Grace and it hit the screen, Netflix, in 5 days, please ask yourself, what are you doing with you? Okay. We have to really like look at the bigger picture and look at what he did and how genius that was for him to write this movie for Netflix, to get it produced, to get it filmed, to get it out in 5 days. Okay. And then we want to sit and talk negative about this movie, about how whack it was, about the lady's wig in jail and how the wig wasn't the same just in a matter of seconds and this and that and how it was corny. No, listen, Tyler Perry, whether you like to Fall from Grace or not, he did the movie in 5 days. Whether you like to Fall from Grace or not, it is on Netflix. Whether you like to Fall from Grace or not, everybody and their mother is watching this movie, has already watched it, is watching it, is telling a friend to watch it, it's getting ratings. Whether you liked A Fall from Grace or not, Tyler Perry is going to be cashing major checks. Period. period. So what we have to do is we have to get out of the mindset of saying, oh, that movie was trash. Tyler Perry did that movie in 5 days, blah, blah, blah. But what did you do in the last 5 days? Okay? What did you do for your life and your family in the past 5 days? You watched The Fall from Grace. You got on Facebook. You talked about the movie, whether you thought it was trash or whether it was good. In the last 5 days, that's what y'all did. So there's no one that should be even wasting a day, a second, an hour talking about how trash something is, if especially if you're not doing anything for yourself. Okay? Tyler Perry is cashing big bags. Big, large consumptions of money. And we have no room, none. I mean, like, I know where I live. I don't live where Tyler Perry lives. I'm not making the amount of money that Tyler Perry makes. So whether I thought the movie was good or not, whether I saw and found flaws in the movie and whether they were funny or not, that's to be discussed like at a later date. But honestly, we have to look at the bigger picture of how genius and how talented Tyler Perry is and how he is the resource, okay? He doesn't have to tap into other resources from other people and wait for money to come to him to make a Netflix production to hit the screen. He didn't have to do any of that. But what he did was he produced, he put the pen to the paper. He obviously got the actors. He's giving people opportunity because these are not people that you see all the time on the screen. And then my girl Cicely Tyson, stay in a Tyler Perry movie. How old are you, sis? You still acting? Tyler Perry still making sure that you get that bag? Are you for real? Claire Huxtable blew our whole mind in that movie because we're thinking this is the best friend. She's the whole snake. We're thinking this girl's about to get a whole, Grace about to get a whole, Stella got her groove back experience. And Grace up there in jail, going crazy, don't even know she didn't even really kill the man. Like, come on. The movie actually was funny in some aspects, but in some aspects, it was really like, ooh, it made you think. I did not know the end, and I'm not that slow, but I really didn't think that the guy didn't die. But then I thought that her son had something to do with it. So it was really something that caught us all on edge, and I'm sure different people had different views of how they thought that the movie was going to end, but that's neither here nor there. What the main focus of this is that Tyler Perry did it. So what are you doing? Tyler Perry pushed A Fall from Grace and it hit Netflix in 5 days. What are we doing? Because this is the thing. You don't know what's going to work if you do nothing. Nothing works. That's what doesn't work, right? If you do absolutely nothing, that does not work for you. Why? Because if there is no action behind a result or a thought, there is nothing. There is nothing. If you have a thought and you have a pen and you have a paper and you put the pen to the paper, but you put no action behind that thought, then you have produced nothing. I don't care if you put it on paper. You have produced nothing. So what are we doing? What are we doing to better ourselves? What are we doing to make moves for our lives? What are we doing to empower other people? What are we doing? What are we doing to better our community? Come on now. What are we doing to better our families? Like, I really had this whole like come to Jesus conversation with myself today. And I know that I have a lot on my plate. I know that I'm doing a lot. I know that I'm in school. I know that I work full time. I know that I'm a wife. I know that I'm a mother. I know that I'm a student. I know that I'm an entrepreneur, but I know that I am not doing enough. Okay? Why? Because the Bible tells us that we should be producing out of 7 streams of income, multiple streams of income. I'm sorry. So if there are multiple streams of income out of us and we're not producing from those multiple streams of income, then we are not doing enough. No matter if you think you're doing enough, if your friend thinks you're doing enough, if your grandmother, if your auntie, if your uncle, they all tell you, oh, boo, you doing so much, you doing enough. You're not. If you are not producing from multiple streams of income to make sure that your family is sustained and you're doing what you need to do for yourself, you are not doing enough. You've heard it from me. I told you that I'm not doing enough. So if I'm not doing enough with all the things that I got going on, then some of y'all just ain't doing enough. And we are going to need to keep each other accountable. We are going to need to push ourselves a little harder. Because if you're doing nothing, you're doing nothing. No excuses. If you're doing nothing, it's because you decided to do nothing. Okay? Let me tell you, you can do what you want to do. I had the flu last week and I still did what I needed to do. I wasn't letting the flu hold me down. Yes, it was hard. Yes, I was sick. My family was sick. It was terrible in this house, but there were things that needed to be done. And there were some places that I needed to be. And I made myself available. Why? Because we got to stop with excuses. What is your excuse? Yes, I know some of y'all might be thinking, oh, Chanel, you're being a little dramatic. Like you had the flu, you should have been in the bed. Yeah, well, I slept for 3 days. I paid for it. But me personally, I'm not giving myself any excuses. I'm not allowing Shondell to have any excuses. If I want to be up here and I'm only right here, guess what? There is a gap of activity that is missing, and I need to push myself harder until I get to where I need to be. You too. If you feel as though you want to be here, but you know you're producing from here, what's going on from here to here? That's space. That's dead space. That's dead air. You ain't doing enough. You're not producing. You need to do more. If you take small action steps, each day is going to bring you further to where you need to be. If you take small steps, you will become closer to your goal. If you take no steps is stagnant. It's stagnant. You're not producing, and you won't produce in a stagnant state. I'm sorry, Willie said, even if they're valid, there are no, period, Pooh, period, Willie, period. Even if the excuses are valid, they still ain't good enough. They still ain't good enough. I'm sorry, somebody said something up here. Oh, Lisa said, I do, but I feel like it's not enough. And girl, I'm with you. I'm with you. Michelle said, I pray our community would be open to allow me to help many prosper together. It's more than possible. Yes. And again, so many people that I appreciate you guys. So many people that watch and follow. You are all doing amazing things. But you have to ask yourselves, is it enough? Are you going to allow a no to sit you down? Or are you going to allow a no to fuel you? What are you going to do? Because at the end of the day, I know that I'm not supposed to have a boss for the rest of my life. I know that everything that I'm doing in the job market is temperamental. Period. I am not supposed to be working for nobody. I'm not. There are some people on here who are not supposed to be working for nobody. It's temperamental, and make sure that you keep it that way. Make sure that you understand that you are supposed to be working for yourself. This is why God has given you the drive, the goals, the dreams, the tenacity to do what it is that you need to do. This is why every single obstacle that has come your way has not knocked you over yet. This is why you are so resilient, and there's something inside of you that continues to remind yourself that I am more, I deserve more, my family deserves more, and I want more. You know why? Because you're hungry. You're hungry at the end of the day. You're hungry because you have not given up. You're hungry because you know you deserve more. You're hungry because you know you want more. You're hungry because you know when you watch a video of somebody else and you're sitting there and you're like, oh my goodness. Oh, that's their content? Oh my goodness. Like, are you serious? I know this. I do this. I do this. Let's see you. Let's see you produce. Let's see what you got so we can support you. Let's see what you got so you can make a name for yourself. I've made a name for myself, but it's only locally. It's not enough. By God's grace, I have been able to speak in New York. By God's grace, I'm going to South Carolina. By God's grace, I've been asked to go internationally. That's only by his grace. Why? Because I'm not stopping. Because I understand that what I'm doing is not enough. If I want to walk international stages, if I want to speak to people on another continent, then I have to do more. Rhode Island is this small little, like Rhode Island. Like, seriously, this is where you're at. And you have this big world that you need to conquer. There is enough for everyone. Michelle Davidson was just on here. She said it's more than possible. So many of you on here are full of life, full of ideas that haven't even hit the earth yet. Why? Because God gave them to you. He trusted you with the idea. He trusted you with the seed. He wants you to give birth to the baby, and you playing around with God's baby. You can't play around with God's baby no more. What's the 3-month plan? What's the 6-month plan? Never mind what's the 5-year plan. If you don't have enough time to sit down and give yourself a 3 to 6-month plan, boo, you ain't doing a 5-month plan, a 5-year plan. I'm sorry. Because 5 years could go by just like that. If you don't keep yourself accountable with a 3-month to 6-month to 1-year plan, don't even bother with a 5-year plan. What are you doing a 5-year plan for? Like, seriously, please, somebody type a answer on here. I really want to know. If you do not have a 3 to 6-month plan, a 6-month to a 1-year plan, you have no business with a 5-year plan. Why? Because what's happening from now until the 5th year? What? Please tell me. So back to where we began. Tyler Perry put together A Fall from Grace, and it hit Netflix screen in 5 days. 5 days. It hit the screen. He did it all. And however he did it, like I said, I don't want to offend anybody in the film industry. But whatever he did, it was done in 5 days. 5. I'm surprised I didn't look up what the number 5 means, and I apologize because I don't know. I'm sure that there is something behind that. But honestly, if you don't do anything, you're only hurting yourself. How do you know what is going to work if you don't do anything? If you don't take the first step to do something, you will never know what is going to work. I just shared a conversation with my sister last year. There was a young woman. She was doing she was teaching on how to do an online coaching program. This was probably exactly a year ago. And she put out this program, and the program was $999. And I remember having the money and saying, well, I really didn't talk to Robert about it. I don't want to just do this and he don't know. And I don't know what space we were even in then. And I just didn't do it. I was like, I'm not going to do it. Humanity. Wow. Thank you so much, Willie. And she said, mark my words, this time next year, I do not want you to see me and say, I wish I joined your program, because next year I will be a multimillionaire. That's what she said. She said, mark my words. I do not want you to say this time next year, I wish I joined your program, because next year I will be a multimillionaire. And next year, some of you won't be able to afford this program. Today, her same program, I'm sure it's enhanced, I'm sure it's better, is $3,500. This is not a program that goes on for days. Okay? This is like I think it was like a 2-day workshop, which started at $9.99, and in 365 days, it is $3,500. She knows her worth. Okay? She told the masses, I will be a multimillionaire in next year. How many of you, including myself, know that you are supposed to be a millionaire or a multimillionaire and you have not done the work? Your 3 to 6 month plan, your 6 month to 1 year plan, in order to do and be where you need to be, in order to leverage the game, in order to gain space in the market. How many of you have not done the work? Okay, ask yourself, have I done the work? No, we're not doing enough. And the reason why we know we're not doing enough is because our bank accounts say that we're not doing enough. I don't care if you have $10,000 in the bank, like, I'm not going to sit there and tell y'all what I got. But what I'm going to say is that if my job said tomorrow, Shondell, we got to let you go and we're going a different route, I'd be in trouble. I got a little girl upstairs that attends a private school who just got accepted into college. We have car notes. We have a mortgage. We have a dog who's like my son. We have bills. So I'm telling you right now is the time to really think about where you are in your life and what position are you in financially. Where if your job said tomorrow, we have to let you go because we are taking another route. We're thinking of moving in a different direction. How many people have heard that? It happens. It's real life. So what we need to do is we need to be prepared mentally and emotionally for that conversation. And we need to be able to fire our jobs. Don't let your job fire you. Fire your job. Why? Because you need to be ready. When you're ready mentally, emotionally, and financially, you could fire your job. But the only way to fire your job is when you do the legwork and when you do the 3 month to the 6 month to the 1 year plan, when you do that little bit of work, when you do something that will produce something. So when you take a step toward something, it will produce something greater. If you do not take any steps, if you don't do anything, you don't produce. Period. There's no other way to look at it. So I'm gonna let you guys go. It's my time. I want you to please go ahead and share this live video. And if one thing that I could leave you with tonight It is Willie Sanders let us know that the number 5 means humanity. Humanity. Tyler Perry produced and did everything that he needed to do with his movie A Fall from Grace in 5 days. It's on Netflix. We're watching it right now. We could turn on our TVs and we could see this movie that he did in 5 days. If Tyler Perry did the movie in 5 days, ask yourself, what can you do in 5 months? Ask yourself, what can you do in 5 weeks? No, you might not have Tyler Perry's money, but you do have a God that sits high and that looks low and who trusts you with the very ideas that he's giving you so that you could go ahead and that you can move forth and you can produce for your family. It's your girl, Shawnee Speaks. Have an amazing night. I love you guys. Smooches. Peace.